Hello, this is a video tutorial on how to play Barcarolle by Joseph Hong. So the very first step, let's look at the rhythm of this piece. And we are just going to focus on treble clef. So this treble clef, treble clef, treble clef, treble clef, 4 treble clefs. So we're going to look at the rhythm from here, and then second row, third row, and then fourth row. So I'm going to start off by pointing and counting the rhythm of Barcarolle using the Takadimi counting system. So there are loads of different counting systems. We're going to use the Takadimi system. So what is the Takadimi system? Basically, when you see a crotchet or quarter note, you say ta. When you see a half note or minim, you say ta a. And when you see a dotted minim or dotted half note, you say ta a. Okay, so let's point and count. Ta 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 a. Ta 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 a. Ta ta a. Ta ta a. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 a. Ta ta a. Ta ta a. Next, I would encourage you to count along with the metronome. So you can, buy a physical metronome. But what I've done is just to download a free app on my phone. So the free app that I use on my Android phone is called Simple Metronome. I'm sure you can find loads of other free metronome apps. You don't have to use this on Android, on iPhone. So for those who have not used a metronome before, it's like BPM stands for beats per minute. So it depends on how fast or how quick you want to set it. So if it's 79, it means there's 79 beats per minute. That's essentially what it means. You can set any timing. For this one, I'm going to start with 80 and see whether it's okay. Ta 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 ta. Sounds great, but I actually would prefer it to be a bit faster, just for counting purposes. Ta ta ta. Very good. And of course, you can adjust the volume as well, which I'm going to. Let's see. Okay. So with the metronome in the background, I'm going to start counting again. Ready, go. Ta 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 a. Ta 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 a. Ta ta a. Ta ta a. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 a. Ta ta a. Ta ta a. So that's really good. I'm going to stop the metronome for now. So make sure you're familiar with the rhythm of this piece. And there are loads of other rhythm exercises that you can do with this piece or any other piece. For example, you could, you could conduct as you count. You can clap and count. You can move your body as you count. So there are really lots of different ways to experience rhythm, okay? And ultimately, I think it's an extremely good idea to involve your body as you experience the rhythm. So when say use your body, you could, conduct, for example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this can be a conducting pattern for a 3-beat rhythm. For example, ta 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 a. Ta 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 a. Ta ta a. Ta ta a. Okay, and of course you can clap and count at the same time. Ta 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 a. Ta 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 a. Ta ta a. Ta ta a. I'm going to see whether you can see my feet over here. Okay, you can actually see my feet. Okay, that's a bit tricky now. I would encourage you to tap your feet, move your feet as you count the rhythm so that you engage your body this way. I'm going to try it. Ta 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 ta. Okay, so once you're reasonably sure of the rhythm, the next step is to move to counting, to read the notes. Okay, so we're going to start off with treble clef. So some of you would know that there are 5 lines in the treble clef, along with the bass clef. That's also 5 lines. So for the treble clef, the names of the 5 lines are E, G, B, D, F. So we always count from the bottom, E, G, B, D, F. Okay, please do not say things like every good boy deserves food and stuff like that, or just stick with the Latin names E, G, B, D, F. The reason for not saying every good boy deserves fruit or food is because it's sexist, and also because if you think of, let's say the last line, every good boy deserves food. So food, it's F, so F of food. So, there's an additional step involved to deciphering what the letter name is. So, for example, E, G, B, D, F, you know straight away that this is F, rather than every good boy deserves food, and your brain has to think F of food. So there's an additional step involved. Anyway, so what's the name of this note? So it'd be G, because E, G. Okay, that's G. So we're going to read by direction of the notes. For those who are not sure what it means by reading by direction, I'm going to demonstrate. So it's G, up skip, same. So the reason why this is up skip is because this is a long note followed by another line note. So if it's a line note pattern, it's a skip. And in this case, because it's going up, so it's an up skip. And in any case, it's actually written for you here already. Just disregard the number for now. The number actually represents the number of beats of each note. So it's G, up skip, same. It's same because it's the same note. And then we start from here again. G, up skip, same, down, down, down. And then this is going from here, going up, so this is up. Okay, let's continue. G, up skip, same, down skip. G, up skip, same, down, 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 down. All right, so that's really reading the notes by direction. So the next step is to combine your reading of the notes along with playing it on the piano or the keyboard. So the first note is G, E, G, okay, and this G is above meter C. So where is meter C? So on my piano, this is meter C. So this is the G that's above meter C. I'm going to start with G, and what finger do I use? I'm going to use finger 1. You can use any finger, but for Barcarolle, I suggest that you start with finger 1, okay? So here goes G, up skip, same. G, up skip, same. Down, 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 up. G, up skip, same. Down skip. G, up skip, same. Down, 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 down. Okay, so the next step is to play on the piano or keyboard and count along. Okay, ta 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 Okay, that's right hand. And let's return to the music sheet or the score. Okay. So some of you might have noticed this symbol over here, so this is called a repeat sign. So when we see this, we go back to the beginning and you repeat those bars. Okay. So once you've repeated it, let's move on. So we move here, and then we move here, and then we see another repeat sign. So where do we repeat it from? So you go back to the sign. This is to this over here. So you repeat from here. You do not go back to the beginning, because there's this, you know, repeat sign over here. So you start from here. The reason why you go back to the beginning over here is because, you know, it's really the beginning. And of course, technically, if you choose to, it's like you could put in this repeat sign over here as well, so that it's extra clear that you know you need to repeat from the beginning. But in cases where you don't see anything before it, you know, when you repeat, you just go back to the beginning. In this case, because there's this like pre-repeat sign here, so you repeat from here. Okay, and then you move on to the end, to the ending. And this is not a repeat sign, this is just a like double bar line, a final double bar line to indicate that, you know, it's the end of the piece or something like that. Okay, so let's play the entire right hand with the repeats. And I'm going to count, no, I'm going to read it, well, I'm going to count read them as I play. So this is a good habit, especially when you start off initially. It's good to, you know, count aloud, so that, you know, you articulate the counting, and this helps with playing the piece and using the correct rhythm. 1, 2, 3. Actually, you know what, if possible, play with the metronome. I think 90 might be too quick for some of you, especially if you're beginners, so you might want to start with 80 or even like 60. When I practice the piano, many times I start with 60 or even sometimes slower, okay? But for this video, I'm just going to start with 90. You might find it difficult to play along with the metronome because, you know, you're doing many things simultaneously. You're counting, you're reading the notes, you're reading the music sheet, so lots of things going on. But eventually, if you persevere and keep at it, you should be able to play along with the metronome. And it can be difficult initially, so be patient with yourself. So now we're going to look at the left hand. What can you notice about the left hand? The left hand actually has the exact same rhythm as the right hand. So, you know, crotchet, 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 dotted minim, crotchet, 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 minim, crotchet, minim, crotchet, dotted minim, and so on. So they're exactly the same rhythm, both hands. So Barcarolle is composed using a composition technique that's called inversion. So basically, the left hand is playing an inverted form of the right hand. So what this means practically is, in the right hand, if you press finger 1, left hand will also press finger 1. So if your right hand presses finger 3, your left hand will press 3 as well. And if your right hand plays finger 5, left hand will press finger 5 as well. So both hands are using the same finger numbers for Barcarolle. But as you advance further, you know, certain pieces that uses the inversion technique, you know, you might not necessarily use the same fingers on both hands. Okay, just to point that out to you. So we are going to play along with the metronome, and we're going to add the left hand. Okay, let's give it a go. Because I'm doing both hands now, I might slow it down slightly to maybe 85. 1, 2, 3. 1, repeat. Okay, so as I've said before, some of you will find it difficult to play along with the metronome, and that's fine. So initially you can, you don't have to play with the metronome, but over time it is really good practice, to play along with the metronome, because you know you're playing accurately then in terms of the rhythm, and then it also forces you to to keep moving along, because as beginners it's very easy for you to hold on to a certain note much longer than is necessary. For example, you might be doing, you might pause and then you say and you press. So that's not playing with a steady pulse. A steady pulse would involve ta 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 ah ah. All right, so give Barcarolle a go. Have fun.